Is it a nailer? Is it a stapler? Is it any good? Let's take a look. So today on the workbench we've got the Ferrex electric nailer from Aldi. Let's open it up and have a closer look. Okay, we've got the leaflet, the obligatory safety information, warranty card. Good thing about Aldi products is they typically come with either 2 or 3 years warranty. So it's a grey plastic body, that's like a softish rubber overmoulding where your palm sits. Trigger. So on the rear we have an on-off switch and then a rotary knob that controls the impact force, so how hard the nails or staples are fired into the timber. So it comes fitted with a standard UK 3-pin plug, and the cord measures 4 meters, which is, I think, pretty good for this sort of tool. Gives you plenty of freedom to move the tool around rather than working with a very short lead. Fits nicely in the hand, very ergonomic. I'd guess it weighs around 1.5 kilos, but I'll put the exact weight on the screen later. You have the magazine release here. Just pull that down, the magazine comes out, which means we can load in staples or nails. We'll look at that next. Push it back in, clicks home, and that's pretty much it. Not much to look at. Let's see how it works in practice. Comes with a pack of 500 nails and 500 staples. So these are the Type 47 nails, 25mm long, and the Type 55 staples, 20mm long. You can just see the difference in height there. Now, I'm presuming that because it claims to be a 15 to 32mm electric nailer come stapler, that as long as we have the correct type, we can deal with any staple or nail within the range of 15 to 32 mils. But because these are the only ones that were included in the pack, this is what I'm going to test with today. Ideally, I would have preferred a shorter staple than the 20mm we've got here. I'm just thinking that's quite a depth of timber for it to go into. When you're putting the nails in, you put them in the right hand slot like so, and get the slider, push it down. You can start to feel the tension or the compression in the spring there. Push it all the way and it locks. Okay, some various bits of scrap here to try. So some, I don't know whether that's 15 or 18mm ply, some rough sawn, probably about 19-20mm, and then 3 pieces of soft pine, probably all about 1/2 inch, 12mm. So with the dial fully counterclockwise or anti-clockwise, depending on what you like. So I'm going to press quite hard. The nail head's probably protruding about 1mm. Press again. Yeah, still a little bit further in that time. And again. So taking a closer look, apart from the very first one where I perhaps didn't hold it down hard enough, they're all more or less, those are more level with the surface. The 1 or 2 here, they're sticking up by about a millimetre, I'd guess. So if you had them like that, if you left them like that, you'd have to tap them in with a hammer, otherwise you're going to catch on them at some point. So let's try an experiment now where we adjust the dial. Let's go maybe about a 1/4 turn, a little bit more on the knob. Those 3 or 4 there pretty good, pretty level with the surface. That one's a bit raised, that one's very raised, and you can see quite a bit of marking on the timber. Interesting. Let's try the rough sawn. Pretty loud. Let's go full Monty, go fully clockwise. Oh, complete fail. Yeah, so fully clockwise, certainly on this timber, just a complete fail. If we go back, let's see if we can go back half a turn. Now, what do we see? Yeah, not flush. And if we go back all the way again, fully anti-clockwise. Yeah. So it probably says this in the manual, but fully anti-clockwise seems to give you more force. We haven't tried it on the ply yet. Running out of pieces of wood. Let's just see. Yeah, those three almost level with the timber. That one sticking up by a good 2mm. Let's just try in the ply itself. Whoa, nailed to my lovely workbench. You can see how far it's gone through. So it's got plenty of force. I think the issue so far is that you're not getting the top of the nail flush with the surface of the wood, which would need a little bit of finishing off with a hammer. It sort of defeats the point. So unloading is just the reverse of the loading procedure, so pull that down and hopefully whatever nails are in there pop out. Yeah, they do. Right, let's get the staples. This time I think it's a little bit easier, we just load them straight in like that. You can feel the compression. Yes, now this time you can see in the viewing port, you can see the staples are loaded. All right, let's fire some of these in. Okay, with the dial fully anti-clockwise, let's just try here. Initial shot, what's that? About 2-3mm proud. Much better. I held that down with more force. Yeah, they're pretty smooth. That one's quite raised there. So let's try the same experiment. Turn it fully clockwise. Oh, don't need to do any more. So that proves it. Fully clockwise, less force. Fully anti-clockwise, more force. But you do need to hold it down with a reasonable amount of force. Well, let's see what it's like stapling some material. Now that's pretty good actually. I mean, this is only like soft terry towel type material, just what I use for my rags in the workshop, but yeah, they've fired in pretty nicely. I'll see if I've got any other material. Okay, I've got some of that radiator heat foil that you used to put behind your radiators. So it's got like a foam backing and a metallicized front. So that's perhaps a more typical example of what you might use the stapler for. And without exception, they have all fired in very nicely, and it's held very firmly. Obviously I can rip it off by ripping the material, but it's held very firmly, apart from the strength of the material, as I say. So initial thoughts are the staple function possibly works better than the nail function, but that might be being a little unfair. Otherwise, dead easy to use. Obviously follow the normal safety things. Switch it off, unplug it before you load and unload your nails and staples, just in case you press the trigger by accident. Don't fire it at anybody, obviously, but apart from that, dead easy to use. As I say, fits reasonably in the hand. I'd suggest that if you use it for an extended period of time, it might get a little bit tiring. It's, as I say, about 1.5 kilos. So why did I buy it, apart from the fact it was a really good price? Because it was the next to last one in the bin in the middle of Aldi. Well, the first reason is I've for a long time had a manual stapler. It's given very good service, but it's a little bit long in the tooth and has a tendency to misfire maybe every 1 in 5 shots. It's also quite tiring to use if you're doing a lot of stapling, because there's quite a bit of force required on the trigger there. So something that had a little bit of power behind it, so either a corded or a cordless version, was of interest. The other thing I was really interested in was the ability to make a number of storage boxes. So what I wanted was the ability to pin things together whilst the glue was setting up. So something like plywood, so just ply and ply, or maybe some hardboard, like so, on ply or on soft pine. So something that can just pin things so while the glue's setting up. So how does it do? So I've put the nails back in. Let's just try this. Better put it down rather than trying to do it in midair. Let's just see. Interesting. The first shot fired the last remaining staple, even though I'd emptied the what I thought were all of the staples out. So something to bear in mind. Fire a test shot before you use it in anger. Complete misfire. Yeah, not too bad. As I say, head's not flush, but it'll do the job. So there you go, the Ferrex electric nailer cum stapler from Aldi. So what do I think of it? Well, it's okay. It's not perfect by any means at all. But given the price I paid for it, £17.95, as I say, it was a manager's offer, last couple in the bin they were looking to get rid of, then I'm happy with that, what I paid for it. I think if I was looking for something a little better, I'd probably have to pay quite a bit more. But I haven't done a full survey of them, so maybe there are better offerings. I've certainly seen some of the cordless versions, the Park Zone one in the middle of Lidl. I don't know how that works. I think it's slightly more expensive, as you would expect from a cordless tool. But as I say, this one will do me, and for £17.95, I'm not going to complain too much. Okay then, I think I'll call this one done. If you like the video, please do give it a thumbs up, as that helps me reach a wider audience. Thanks very much. Also, if you'd like to see more tool and product reviews, some of them in this rather cluttered workshop, then please consider subscribing. Also, click on the notification bell icon so that you get alerted as soon as I release the next video. Thanks very much for watching. Do appreciate it. Hope to see you again on the next one. Cheers.